Did you say you broke the box?
Maybe.
All right, so back here at MT Performance Engines with Matt Trevina. This is going to be, I can't remember what part it was. Is it part 4 or 5 of the 400 horsepower setup?
I think it might be part 4.
It's been spread over such a long period of time because it's just a long-term build. So I forget. I should have checked it last night. But yeah, Matt's got the car. Well, the plans have changed. So originally he was just going to tune the car as it was with the old W58 box. He had a T-Series different and everything. He's done a lot of work off camera. So he's done like the Jericho 4-speeds gone into the car with the 400 horsepower setup still in the car. That was originally just for the 800 horsepower setup. And you've also done a Ford 9-inch. So anyway, like I'll stop talking because he knows everything about this car and he's done so much to it. So we'll do a quick recap on what's happened to the car. And then right after this, we're gonna go see the dyno.
Yeah, all right, so I'll give you a quick brief for the car. We put a Ford 9-inch diff in it. So that's been custom made. It's been shortened down. The housing was just bought as a fabrication style one, so you can just fabricate it. I had my friend Chris Spicer at CS Engineering do all the diff work. We got 38 spline axles or 36 spline, I can't remember, they're monster size axles. We got a chrome ollie tail shaft made for it to suit the Jericho gearbox, which is now in the car. Direct twin clutch, lots of custom work done there. It's got a clutch slipper now. So it's got a Magnus Motorsports Pro clutch slipper. We can show you that off camera.
The big one is the intake plenum.
Yes, so I changed off and we'll go through and check that out now. So that's a custom world speed manifold. I wouldn't say it's so much custom now. He is offering these to the market. It puts a single throttle body manifold on the car. Any throttle body you choose, he'll do the flange to suit. I went with a Bosch Stripe RY68.
So he used your car as like a prototype, yeah?
So, sort of. He wanted to know certain angles. I gave him my manifold as a reference to just sort of gauge everything.
Yep.
One of the things that we had issues with the old manifold was the length of the runner, the tooling for the CNC machine being a 5-axis. Once it starts going down the runners, it starts to chatter. So it gets this really bad sort of chattering through the chattering of the tool through the actual port runner. So in this, we decided with WorldSpeed, he just goes short so the tooling doesn't have an issue. And that keeps costs down as well because obviously the runners are shorter. Suits me better because it's more so suited for higher RPM with the short runner versus long. And it also gives us much more clearance. So from here, I can actually access my clutch slipper down there on the chassis rail with this manifold.
I'm not sure if I'll see the slipper on the camera.
Yeah,
I think I can kind of see it. There you go.
Yeah, that's it there.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it there. It's a bit of cabling and all sorts of spice down there.
We were laughing about it. You can fist it between the manifold and
the last one. It was impossible. You couldn't get a finger between it, so I actually had to go under the guard to access the slipper. Now I can do it from the engine bay side, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So this manifold's just got top feeds. I've gone from the billet atomizers that I was potentially running in the past back to an ID 1400cc injector because I didn't really need all that billet atomizer injector, plus it's more of a street car. So what I'm actually going to do on the 800 horsepower setup is stage 2 sets of injectors, atomizers on the bottom and the IDs on the top for drivability. So these are 1400cc injector dynamics injector. So yeah, aside from that, we just had to refabricate the intake pipe to suit the new manifold. So we just cut that up and then modified it to suit the positions. And yeah, there's not much else that's been changed. I had this all cardboarded up to protect it whilst I was working on the car.
All right, so nice little recap, and we're going to get it loaded onto the trailer and out to the dyno.
Let's go.
Righto, Matthew, what's happening? We're at the dyno.
Okay, so we've been here for a couple of hours already. We've loaded the car onto the dyno. I've incorporated the help of Adrian Norton, who's a tuner with M-Tron. I've hired him to come out for the day and give us a hand with it. And we've basically gone through every setting to make sure the strain gauge works, the shift cuts, all the cam panel works, basically everything. So we finally got through to the point where we're actually going to start putting a map into the car, and it's idling, it sounds pretty healthy. It's just gone into gear, so this is the first time it's going to run up, guys, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so we're on the dyno currently, and one of the issues we've just found was that at about 2,500 RPM, we're trying to validate the throttle mass flow. And what was happening, as we were giving it a bit of throttle, the engine was receiving more air than expected. So we went back and actually checked the data and found that the turbo was going into surge. This happens when you've got a small cubic inch engine with a big turbo. The engine can't consume the air that the turbo is creating. So this is one of the reasons we have the small bleed off throttle body that goes on the intercooler pipe. Now that throttle body, we can actually open and close that depending on the throttle mass flow. So what we found was that the numbers weren't validating in the throttle mass. So we've decided to bleed some air off, and this is something we actually had in the Formula engine in America. At idle, that throttle body would actually be opening because the Formula car idles at about 2,000 to 2,500 RPM, which was the same RPM we were trying to validate here on the dyno. So as soon as we opened that throttle body up at 2,500 to validate, the throttle mass flow numbers started making more sense. So we should be able to start making some more progress on the car, and
yeah, it took a little while to figure out, but that's just how it always goes, man.
Yeah, it's the nature of the beast when you're working on stuff like this. Like, again, Adrian he wasn't involved in the tune-up of the Formula car.
Yeah.
If he was, I'm sure he would have been straight on it.
Oh yeah, of course.
So yeah, bit of back and forward. We figure out look through the data, we figure it out. So,
excellent. All right, make some power, man.
Let's do it.
Working on?
Surge, the turbo was surging. Boost car.
It just made a lot of power, 470. So what was it? Like you said, it was breaking up a little bit, it was bleeding off a bit of air?
No, so it was breaking up because the plugs or the fueling, there's something that we got to correct.
Yep.
But It's at 100% throttle now. We were sort of capping the throttle because the throttle is what's limiting our boost pressure.
Yep.
So we've got a target throttle position which equals our boost pressure.
Yep.
So rather than set like a target boost pressure and aim for that, we set the target table of boost, and then we just cap the throttle percentage.
Okay.
So regardless whatever the pedal's doing, the throttle percentage basically dictates what our ramp run does in that, and then it's easier to target lower boost levels on a control switch.
Yep.
So basically now what we've done is we've tried to control surge because the turbo is too big for the small capacity engine, and the turbo goes into surge.
Yep.
So the engine can't consume the air that the turbo is creating. That's why we have that bleed off valve. We were getting a lot of surge issues, and with surge you start to see oscillating turbine speed, and it just damages the whole overall product. So what we do is we ramp the turbo as hard as we can, bleed off the air that the engine can't consume, and only take in what we can. And that gets us better boost response, better overall power, and smoother response, and we can control it better. So we're just sort of working through that now. We had a boost spike then, and it was over boosting, so we're correcting that. But I think that was on 24 pounds of boost to make 470 horsepower at the tyre, or at the hubs.
Yep.
And then it tapered off to about 21 pounds. But the power still continued to climb, and then sort of only nosedived off at the end. So the power basically comes up, and it sort of, the boost rather, spikes right up, and then it just dives. What we want to do is control the overboost and basically have it come up, hit a flat line, and then just continue along.
So how much boost do you want to target?
I want to put about 26 pounds in this engine because I realistically don't know how much this engine can take. I did build a long time ago. The gudgeon pins, the rods and pistons aren't really strong. They are forged components. It's a spool rod and a Wiseco piston, but it's an aspirated Wiseco piston, so there's not a lot of strength in that piston.
Yeah.
It also, I built it when I was an apprentice about 13 years ago, this engine, so still going strong today, but you know, I am building the other engine which will be capable of more horsepower.
Yep.
And if this one can survive through this, then there's no reason that I shouldn't be able to put more, you know, a little bit less than double the horsepower through the next engine.
Cool. All right, let's see how it goes, man.
Yeah, let's keep going. £21.7 pounds. Wow. The throttle is open all the way to do that. So the throttle is actually restricting on this engine, which is surprising. So we're targeting more boost now in front of the throttle plate to try and get it through. Go around and film when he gets it into fourth, he's going to flat shift it through to fourth.
Did you say you broke the box?
Maybe.
Okay.
It might have been a linkage come off.
Ah.
I don't know how it's set up.
Yeah, so I'll have to pull the box and check the linkages.
Oh, they're all on top, eh? You can't really get to
Yeah,
them.
you can't get to them.
Damn. So that's it?
Yeah, we're done for the night.
Did that last power run, was that the last power run?
Yeah, the motor's tuned.
That's tuned. It was just the flat shift that was the last thing. That
Yeah, I just said we'll try flat shift at like 7,000.
Yeah. So there's no need to come back to the dyno. You can,
tune-up's
the
finished.
flat shift can be done driving.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Well, once we figured out what happened.
Yeah.
If it's a linkage come off, we can just reattach it. But if it's we'll just see what broke.
Cool.
So
So that'll be it for this video, guys. And as I've mentioned before, this is a long-term build, and we have started filming part 6, but there just isn't enough footage for a full video yet. So if this is your first time seeing Matt's KE70 and you'd like to learn more about the car, go check out the first 4 videos of the series that are live right now on my channel. And also, be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit that notification bell and subscribe. Thanks, guys.
Success today.